Well, hello everybody. We're in Largs, Scotland, and we just completed the Scottish Championships with the Edinburgh Cup to go. Sat alongside me, I have Julia Bailey from Cowes, who has just won the Scottish Championships. We'll talk about that in a minute, and also Patrick Gifford, who has won the Corinthian side of the championship and also third in the overall. Patrick, can I just start with you before I go to Julia? We're in Largs. You were instrumental in choosing this venue, weren't you?
Well, I was involved.
Okay.
As a BDA committee member, we decided that we would very much like to try to encourage the reintroduction of the dragon in Scotland, which used to be a really big class, particularly in the west here,
right,
but also to some extent in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And we canvassed our members and decided that there would be enough support from the south to make it a viable activity.
Yeah. And
so here we are.
Good. I mean, a lot of us thought, oh my goodness, all the way up to Scotland, and we always see on the big weather maps that we see on BBC, if there's going to be rain, it's going to be in Scotland. But we've been here, we've had some great weather, it's been fantastic sailing with flat water, a couple of little small chop. Julia, fantastic. Well done again.
Thank you.
She beat me overall. We were second, Julia was first. You've got a four-man team. Who have you got with you this year?
We've got Keith and Will that were with us last year.
Right, with Graham, yeah.
Won the Edinburgh Cup, and unfortunately Graham couldn't come, so we've got Pedro.
Okay, and Graham is away at the moment, isn't he? So he's not doing any sailing. But Pedro Andrade, we all know about Pedro. And Patrick, you've got your son Michael.
I've got my son Michael and a local from Waldronfield, where I have a house called Martin's Ball.
Okay.
Who has owned dragons in his time in Aldborough, but never really raced significantly on the circuit.
Okay. Last week we also had a little bit of a battle in Dublin Bay, didn't we?
Yeah, that was different.
And that was the Irish Championships. Tell me, your boat is quite an age now. She's an old Barson, isn't she?
She's 29.
Yeah, 29 years old, okay.
And we've owned her twice. We bought her from Mike Patton in 1987 when he decided to own and build Petticoat dragons.
Okay.
He couldn't race a Morrison dragon anymore.
So she was originally Union Jack?
She was originally Union Jack.
Okay.
And we owned her for 10 or 11 years then, and it then fitted our plans to buy her back essentially as a boat to keep in Aldbrook to race in the river. Okay. But since we've now sold the boat that was racing elsewhere, she'd had to be pressed into surface to do that as well.
Excellent.
Doing fine.
She's fast. I have a lovely story. I haven't told you this one yet. I had a lovely story about Union Jack. It was Peter Colby told me the story down in Dwardney, but it was backed up by Vincy Hirsch from Germany. There was a Gold Cup, I think it was in Le Havre, somewhere around that area. Gold Cup many years ago, and they were the only boat that went to the extreme side of the course when most of the fleet went the other way. So let's just say they went extreme left. And one of the crew for them that day was a gentleman called John Hayes from Yachts and Yachting, we know him. And John and the other crew were having a little chat amongst themselves going up towards the weather mark because they were miles ahead. And John just said simply to the other crew, "Are you going to tell him or am I?" And nobody said anything to Mike. Anyway, they rounded the top windward mark, about 600 yards in the lead, and Mike said up spinnaker, and unfortunately the boys had taken the spinnaker off to repack them the night before, and there were no spinnakers in the boat. So when I saw Vincy Hirsch, and I said, "Is this true, Vincy?" And he said, "Yes." He said, "Because we were wondering why this bloody Englishman, who was miles ahead of us all, wasn't putting his spinnaker up." He said, was he so confident of his boat speed upwind that he wasn't going to, so anyway, but I think they still finished about...
I don't think they finished the race. What I remember, I was there, and in fact the Union Jack that you're talking about was the first Petticoat boat, because we by then were sailing this boat called Basilisk.
Okay.
And they did indeed, if the story is right, but they pulled out of that race. Vincent won it, we were second, and they returned for the second race that was supposed to happen. The wind had died completely, so the second race never happened.
With their spinnakers, of course.
They could have sailed the rest of the first race going gently down the fleet on the run. Yeah. And they probably wouldn't have done too bad.
No, not too bad, no.
But they thought they'd be ready for the second race, and it never happened.
Yeah. Now, Julia, you haven't sailed much this year on the Dragons, have you?
Yeah, only club racing.
Yeah, club racing.
Yeah.
So obviously you've come here to try and win the Edinburgh Cup, as you did last year with Graham. We've got a few more people coming in now for the main event.
Yes.
Gavia, Tom Vernon, who won a race at the Worlds.
Mix it up a bit.
Mike Hales, and some of this Aberstock fleet are going very well.
Yes, they are, yeah.
We've had, I think it's Mike Budd in 793.
Rob Riddell was first for the first one yesterday. Yeah.
So and I think the venue actually is with flat water is ideal for dragons, and so anybody can get up there, can't they? And so, who's your tip, Patrick, for the Edinburgh Cup? Obviously, you'd like to win it yourself.
Well, of course, we'd love to.
You have won it in the past?
No, I haven't. No, I never have. No.
I thought you had.
No. I have to say, not on the form at the moment, Julia is pointing higher and footing faster than most of the rest of us.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's a big advantage.
We're going to have to do something about that.
But give her a sea anchor. Quite useful.
Julia, who do you see as your main competition then?
Well, you, of course.
Well, thank you. You have to say that. I'll say next to you now.
Gavia and Tom will be strong.
Yes, yeah. And the race officer, he's been excellent.
Yes.
There's no question.
Yeah.
We had him very briefly in Weymouth last year, 2 years ago, but he couldn't stay for the Worlds or something. I don't know what happened. What's his background? He's excellent.
Well, he is one of the RYA's top race officers.
Yeah.
But the key thing is he keeps a yacht here.
Right.
And
he knows the area.
He knows what he's doing, and he's very competent.
And it's Chris, what's his name?
Chris Haddon.
Chris Haddon.
He's also got Bobby Brown as part of his team, who has won the Edinburgh Cup, and is his assistant race officer. So they're pretty switched on.
Yeah. And I mean, the venue is great. We've got a good forecast, quite strong winds, but it's up and down, and nice flat water, as we said. And the total entry is up to, what, 20 now?
20 something? Yeah, I'm not quite sure. No, 20.
It's obviously not as many as we would like, but we will be reporting each day, and keep watching this space. Thank you very much, Julia, and congratulations once again.
Thank you.
And well done to you, Patrick.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.